nothing changes.
So the purpose of this bus for me is to essentially have an apartment on wheels. What I want to do is be able to live in this full time. Winters in cold weather, or upper Canada, stuff like that. I want to travel and be able to go to cold weather. So I plan to insulate the floor, the ceiling, the sides. Probably gonna have to wait and see a good rain. Come out here and check and see all the seals. If all the seals are good, I'm not gonna mess with them, because for right now I don't really care. I just want to make sure there's no leaks anywhere. And then from there, I'm gonna go ahead and once the floor everything's pulled out of the floor and everything's pulled out of the ceiling, everything's gutted, I'm gonna go ahead and remeasure everything and make sure that my measurements are right, because it's a bus and what I planned to buy and what I bought were two separate things. And yeah, so that's how this one's gonna work. And I'm literally working on my bus, and Rooster, hey Rooster, just wandering around like nothing's going on. Hey everybody, this might help for me. So I'm starting a skoolie project, like a lot of you have been or are going to. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself really quick. I'm Rob. I was in the military for a while, did some stuff there. I'm currently living somewhere. I'm just joking. Yeah, I have zero background in conversions and all that is skoolie. Did a lot of research. I learned as much as I possibly could. And so essentially what I'm trying to do is, like everybody else, avoid the apartment hustle, where you put in all your money and you get nothing out of it. With this, I can at least put my money into something, and then as long as it doesn't explode on me or set on fire, I'm good to go. Unless I have, full-timers RV, which I will. Anyways, another story. This is a 2003 ICCE bus. It's 30 capacity, or 9 windows as the community calls it. The reason why they call it 9 windows is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 count. There's 7 on this side because of the handicap machine or lift, which I will be getting rid of. I don't know if it works, but if nothing else, I can scrap it and get some quick money off of that. So far what I've done today is pretty simple. I have removed most of the screws on the ceiling, most of the screws on the side upper part, most of the screws through the bag rack, and I'm waiting on finding out where I can get that hex bit so that I can just pop all this out to include the floor, which has the same hex bits. I mean, it should be fairly common. It looks like it's a normal hex bits that you just put in there, and it might be one of those manual ones where you have to just spend hours doing it, which I'd rather do than grinding it out, because I have found out my limitation in my bus. I am working with Milwaukee tools, which are great brand, but batteries are horrible for angle grinders, because angle grinders suck those bad boys up pretty solid pretty quick. I have the extended batteries, and I can get between the two of these, I can get anywhere between, now that I'm getting more proficient with it, I can get probably about 6 bolts per, give or take. So it's not that much. I could probably get out 1 or 2 seats a day, and that's not a huge minus, because I can use the other 2 packs to do the little ancillary things and pull off like these parts and this part. And then once the floor is done, I'm gonna start pulling and getting rid of all of this and recycling it and getting some scrap money. With that in mind, we're gonna continue on with what I was doing, which is I got these last 2 rows up here to pull the screws out, and then after that I'm pretty much gonna be done for the day, because that's the end of my battery. It's only been like 4 hours, so 4 hours battery is not a good amount of time. And I'm not close to where I live, so I can't just run back and charge it. So I might have to get a generator out here and just power my, turn on the generator, power my batteries every couple hours, take a break or 2, and then keep trucking along, because honestly, if I had the battery power, I could have probably gotten at least 3 or 4 of these seeds out today. And probably more, because it's not really hard to get them out once you get your groove going. and once you learn how to do certain things. These seem to be rusted on pretty hard. I'm using an impact driver, so if they were going to come off, they were going to come off, and they're not. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, I got really lucky. These don't bolt all the way through to the ground. These actually only go into these little crevices, and they're in the rail system. They're not actually through the actual bus. So I got really lucky on that. Once I get all these out and once I pull all this up, hopefully the hexes that are down here in the rail system are not all the way through, but I'm guessing they are, because otherwise it would be kind of moot to do that, which means that I'm going to probably have to go into underbelly and grind from the bottom to get rid of those instead of grinding from the top, if that makes any kind of sense. If not, is there anything else that I did? No. Oh, I got one whole chair out. I was very proud of myself. As much as I possibly can, with what I have until the seats are gone. I'm going to pull the screws as I go through each one, so that when I finally get to it, I can just pull 1 or 2 screws and just be done with it. I figured preparation is the best thing I can do with the battery sources that I have, and that should work pretty well. Oh, couple of things I learned that you're going to need. Angle grinders, of course, because bolts that are rusted on ain't going anywhere. Batteries, lots and lots of battery power or some form of place to juice up yourself. You're going to need food. I didn't come with food. That was my mistake. Bought lunch. Shouldn't. Anyways, different story. And then also this little bad boy here is a godsend. It's a workhorse. It's been through probably 500 or 600 screws so far, and it's still got a half battery, so that's decent. What else is there to think of? What else is there to talk about? Very important. Buy a bucket. You will thank yourself for it later. I mean, you can get these little baggies right here to like throw shit in it, but you buy the buckets for now, you throw all those screws in there, and then you throw them in a bag later, and keep shit nice and clean and organized so you don't have shit everywhere. I haven't named the beauty yet, but I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna get the name really soon. Thank you, and hope to see you again. Episode 2.